Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead. It's Monday, and yes, I'm doing soup week. So if any of you guessed right. So it's a few hours before Tom will be home from work, but you know, sometimes you're just sitting around and the silence is deafening, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to start this early because it isn't like it's not something that I can keep warm, and you know, it'll be nice and piping hot when he gets home. He's got to go to the chiropractor after work too. But he gets out of work in a half hour. He'll be home in a couple hours. He'll be all right. Tonight I'm going to start out with creamy bean soup. That's not what it's called. But anyway, creamy beef and kielbasa soup. I'll have to just type out the recipe. It doesn't let you copy, paste, nothing like that. And I'll save a link. So if you guys see a link down there, that's a link to that recipe from that site that I went to. If you see me type it in, that means it's my recipe, or I altered it so much that it's not someone else's anymore. So, too, if you could like, share, subscribe, and, you know, make comments, that would be great. I would so greatly appreciate it. So, if you guys remember when I canned that mirepoix, I had a few that wouldn't fit in a quart jar, and I didn't have room in my canner, and I wasn't going to run the canner just for 1 or 2 quarts. So I froze it. So this recipe calls for, and I'm not going to run a full recipe either, and I'll explain to you why. It calls for a large onion, 2 carrots peeled and chopped, and 2 celery stalks chopped. So I'm going to use probably maybe half of this bag, because that mirepoix has, I think, that should be plenty. And then there'll be enough that I can put it back in the freezer, because they are still frozen, by the way. And I can put it back in the freezer and we'll use it for another soup. So I'm going to start my burner, but I forgot to add olive oil, so we'll need to do that too. Now, I'm not going to add the spices that it talks about because rosemary and thyme, I'm not a fan of either one. So you can use whatever ones that you like. It's your soup. So we're going to have it beefy because of the kielbasa. But I was cleaning out my beans, you know, to rinse and drain them. Well, half of them ended in my sink. I don't know what I did, but I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to kind of bring this down to half, and it asks for 8 cups of chicken broth, and that's an awful lot for me and Tom. So, you know, we should even have enough for his lunch tomorrow. If not, he's got stuff he can take. So while that's starting to cook up, we're going to cut that kielbasa. Now, I have a question for you guys, and it's a serious question. If I can't garden anymore, not by choice, but my thumb is freezing up today. If I couldn't garden anymore, should I change the name of my channel? Because really, I mean, I'm still canning, but I wouldn't be producing my own food, you know what I mean? So is it really still a homestead? So let me know in the comments below if I should still keep the name or what. There won't be any more gardening. And I'm kind of bummed out about it, but it's okay. I told Tom last night, you know, there's a reason for everything, and you just make do. And I'm okay with that. Alrighty. This is going to be really meaty, which Tom will really like that part. Well, I'm not going to put that one in there. What a shame, I'll have to eat that. Now, because the veggies are frozen, I'm going to have to let them cook a little bit. And you want them to soften up and everything, too. Alrighty. So that's all cut up. That was a lot of prep, wasn't it? Kidding. Kidding, kidding. Not much prep at all. You know, the thing is, if you actually have things in your pantry, in your freezer, in your refrigerator, you know, you can make a lot of things go pretty quick. And this week, if you'll find out, most of my stuff is either going to be home canned or you can buy it canned. I'm using up boxes of broth that I'd gotten on sale for 99 cents. I told Tom to bring these up instead of my broth because my broth tastes better. And I want to use these up first. And then when I get low on my other broth, then I'm going to order another 6 chickens and from Sam's, and I'll make up more broth. And I'm down to 1 package left of all that chicken. So once I get down a little bit, because I only have so much room, I will do that again, because I really did use that chicken a lot, which that's a good thing. So I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll get to the next step. Alright, so I think I've done the vegetables long enough, so now you want to add all of your kielbasa to it. And you want to add, it says 4 cloves of garlic, so I'm going to use a nice heaping, maybe heaping and a half fork of garlic. I know no matter what I do, you can't see it real well. Sorry, guys. I want to make it so the view is better, but the way my kitchen's set up, it's really not great. I love my kitchen, but it's not always good for filming. So I do my best, I promise. So anyways, I am going to let that fry up a little bit, and then we're going to come up to the next step. Alright, so now I'm going to add my beans that didn't fall out. And I'm going to add 4 cups of chicken broth, which is 1 box. This will be a nice thicker soup than what it says originally, so that'll be okay too. I think that's going to be plenty of broth, honestly. And then we're going to add salt and pepper to it. I'm not going to add anything else because, like I say, I don't like the rosemary and thyme. And I think chicken broth, the natural vegetables, and, you know, I think that'll add with the meat. I'm not going to put as much salt because, you know, it's already got enough salt in it with the broth. But I think that will give a lot of its own natural taste. And actually, Tom might have to take something different tomorrow, and that's quite okay. He'll be alright to go down and get his meatloaf and potatoes, believe me. He loves that. So now we're going to add also a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. If you don't have that, you don't have to add it. But I've got that 1 bottle that I keep trying to use up. So I still have some left, honestly. I've got probably this much left of it. So I'm going to let that heat up, and I'm going to take a taste test, and dinner will be ready as soon as Tom gets home. Alright, so I got it heated up. Let's take a taste test. We don't need that big of a bite, do we? Look at that. Nice and steamy hot. I'm blowing it cold. Really hot. You know, honestly, with the sausage and the salt and pepper and the garlic, that flavor is amazing. It doesn't need anything else. Like, you can put your rosemary and thyme or whatever else in there that you want to, but honestly, the salt and pepper are fine. It also said you could use red chili flakes too, but I don't think it needs that either. I just think it's a really good soup. So I'm going to put my lid on it, and when Tom gets done with the chiropractor, I'll just turn it back on. That's the one good thing about soup. You can warm it up anytime. You can have it anytime. I don't want to make too big of batches because obviously if I'm doing soup all week, I don't want too much, and that's kind of hard to take to the homeless, soup is. So I'm trying not to make too big of batches either. And, you know, my beans kind of made that choice for me today. I don't know. My thumbs, I know right now, are not working real well, so maybe I just kind of slipped off. I don't know. I have no idea. So anyways, I'll be back when Tom gets home. He can taste test it, see what he thinks. But I think he's really going to like that. You guys, I'll be back when he gets home. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
So there's the soup. Oh, give it a try. I told him I lost half my beans down the drain when I was... I think it's because of my thumbs, probably. They're not working very well. I think it's got great flavor. All I did is add salt and pepper, not anything that they said.
That's good.
Sometimes that's all it takes is salt and pepper.
Well, it takes is salt and pepper sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like corn. Corn don't taste very good without salt and pepper.
Yeah. Well, I can do without the pepper. Unless we're frying it, then I want the pepper on there. Otherwise, it's just salt. And watermelon is good with salt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. So we're going to let the hungry man eat. You guys have a blessed night. Be a blessing. And goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye, Tom.
You guys have a great night.